What's up, lore masters? This video is an expansion on a series I did a while ago regarding a dystopian Klingon empire. You can find those videos in the top right hand corner right about now. Go ahead and take a look and then come back here. Don't worry, I'll wait. For this lorecraft, we'll be rewriting Discovery's Klingons to be a bit more consistent. Now, watch the video completely all the way through and then let me know your thoughts. With that out of the way, let's just get into it. A while back, I asked my patrons to vote on what they would want me to do, and the majority wanted me to do a complete rewrite of Discovery Season 1. I still haven't done that yet. But while I look into actually completing that, I thought it might be fun to try to rewrite the Klingons in a way that would at least seem to be a bit more in line with continuity. For the purposes of this video, I'll be keeping the base of what the writers and executives wanted. That is to say, basically the Klingons are a bigoted religious order that reflect Trump supporters and wants a war. Oh, and they have cloaking technology. Yeah, I get it. Already the basis isn't really all that Trek and is just offensive, but let's just see if we can write something even with a bad premise and it still be a good story. Unlike what we see in Discovery, the Klingons of the sarcophagus ship would be unique to that ship and its fleet. More on the fleet later. This means it would be a generational ship that broke off from the Klingons 100 years ago or more after finding this ancient ship. And it would be noted that this ship specifically wasn't Klingon in origin, but they felt that it was given to them by Kahless. Perhaps in their mythos, they claim that Kahless himself crewed the ship originally and was the captain. There could even be a Voyager reference here where the discussions of how Klingons would go off to follow their own religious beliefs when they believed the Empire had fell, and how this wasn't uncommon. Also, perhaps a Herc reference, hinting that this tech would be from that invasion. This would create a mystery, distinguish the Klingons from what we see in Enterprise and cause debates. Then, when the Shenzhou first comes into contact with the sarcophagus ship, its sensors would not know what it was looking at. It would go wild as the ship decloaked. Perhaps they wouldn't describe it as a cloak, but somehow coming out of subspace or something of that nature, not this screen BS, but something that sounded a little more logical. Something that might infer a cloak, but isn't realized by the crew, and thus we don't have issues with the original series. The Klingons would then engage in a conversation with Georgiou, and when the bridge crew of the Shenzhou see the Klingons, they would be taken aback at the appearance, questioning if it even was the Klingons. I mean, you could even have a conversation on what could have happened. Hell, let's throw a line in asking if this was the next step of the Klingon augment virus. And then at that point, another officer saying, well, I thought that was just a myth, that the Klingon augment virus didn't exist. This not only establishes that these Klingons could be a part of the augment virus, but also that the Federation was slowly starting to forget what had happened to the Empire, which would then make more sense why they don't know about it in Deep Space Nine. Now, I'll be honest, the timeline might not match up here for when the Klingons would have contracted the virus, but again, it just makes for good debate. Just keep it vague so that you never directly confirm and fanboys can have fun with it. At some point, a mention of the Civil War and degradation of the Klingon Empire would occur, how the Klingons had been at each other's throats and their technology had suffered. And then, during that conversation, the sarcophagus' ship's beacon would go off. The great houses would respond, and the ships that arrive would be from Star Trek Enterprise, perhaps more beat up, but recognizable of Star Trek Enterprise ships. We could see all of the vessels in that series. And then the bridge crew of the Shenzhou could reflect on how Klingon technology had stagnated and that these ships would be no match for the Shenzhou. The only way for them to win would be by pure numbers, to Zerg. And with the arrival of the other Starfleet ships, the dialogue would indicate a mass slaughter of the Klingons. From the bridge conversation, we go back to the discussion with the Klingon High Council, and now we have another DS9 reference, as one from the Klingon High Council who doesn't like this cult states, destroying an empire to win a war is no victory, and ending a battle to save an empire is no defeat. Using the words of Kahless to try to bring down the cult, and encouraging everyone to back off from the Federation fleet. The leader of the sarcophagus cult would laugh, stating that he had Kahless' blood in him and how little faith the Klingon High Council had. It would be at this time that the Klingon bird of prey ships we see in Discovery would decloak, surrounding the Federation fleet and just begin ripping into them. The sarcophagus ship would fire a direct hit on the Shenzhou. These ships would be foreign and more advanced, and the Federation would have no chance. Events would then continue similar to what we saw before. The Klingon Empire would come under the heel of this cult because of their technology and the restoration of the Klingon Empire to prominence. All technology would stay in the hands of the cult, of course, and now we're off to the races. And it opens up so many questions. Where did this religious cult come from? Where did they get all of these ships? Why is the Klingon Empire so willing to follow them? What is this cloaking technology? Is it cloaking technology, and why is it never talked about in the original series? These are great questions that could be explored, and you can still make Michael Burnham your God Emperor of the Federation. Everybody wins. But this is just a quick and dirty idea of what I thought might be interesting to do with the Klingons. What are your thoughts? What would you do to rewrite the Klingons given what you had to write them as? You can add on to my idea or give me your own. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, shout out to Eagle Moss who have this really awesome model of the Shepherd class. I mean seriously, this thing is awesome. I love it. I suggest that you get it. Additionally, they have now moved into creating skeets and targets for gun practice, including the Klingon bird of prey from Discovery. Want something to shoot at or want to give a gift that will ruin your enemy's day? Consider getting them one of these bad boys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And guys, I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.